And we're all ready to go, Chairperson Morris.
Okay, I will call the meeting to order at 7:01 actually. And I would like us to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I will go ahead and start right now. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
and
justice.
Amen. You don't have to say that part, but all right. I will turn it over to the county to call roll.
This is Darrell with the clerk of the board. Member Hickey. Member McClitus. Here. Member McClitus. McCandless, I apologize. Member Rising. Member Tackett.
Present.
And Member Morris.
Here.
And you have a quorum.
Great,
and
thank you.
You're welcome. And on to the announcements. This meeting is, let me make sure I have my, I do.
Could introduce any county staff that's here, okay?
Oh, okay, yes. I'm Darrell with the clerk of the board. And then we have Jessica Bryant with planning. And for the announcements, this meeting is live streamed and temporarily closed to in-person public participation. The clerk's office is in the process of hosting hybrid public meetings that will provide board members and members of the public with the option to participate in the meeting either in person or remotely. Thank you for your patience and support. To make a verbal comment at today's meeting, dial 916-875-2500 and follow the prompts to be placed in queue for a specific agenda item or off agenda matter. When the chair opens public comment for a specific agenda item or off agenda matter, callers will be transferred from the queue into the meeting to make a verbal comment. Written comments are always accepted. Send your email comment to boardclerk@saccounty.net and your comment will be routed to the board and filed in the record. And that concludes my announcement.
Great. Okay. Let's go ahead and go to item number 1 on the agenda.
Item number 1 is the Hickory Hanks Barbecue Rezone located at 1330 Elkhorn Boulevard in the Rio Linda, Alberta community. Request for a general plan amendment, community plan amendment, special development permit, and design review.
Okay, so this is Jessica Brandt with the Office of Planning and Environmental Review, and I'm here to give you a presentation on the Hickory Hanks Barbecue Rezone. I'll keep my presentation brief. We do have the applicant, Mr. Verga, on the line as well, and I'm sure he could answer questions too. Next slide, please. This is something we just give at the start of every presentation. We do have our planning documents viewer online, and you can access project information and documents by going to planningdocuments.saccounty.net and typing in the control number of a project that you're interested in, an assessor parcel number or an address. Next slide. Location of this project is 1330 Elkhorn Boulevard, which is at the southwest corner of Elkhorn Boulevard and 14th Street in the Rio Linda, Alberta community. And you can see an aerial delineating the project site. Next slide, please. This is a big request for a small project. So the request language here, I'll read it briefly. This is a general plan amendment and a community plan amendment and a rezone for a portion of Mr. Verga's property at this site. The general plan would move from agricultural residential to commercial office for its designation. The community plan would move from agricultural residential 2-acre minimum with a agricultural residential preservation area overlay to a limited commercial designation. the rezone would go from the agricultural residential 2-acre to the limited commercial zoning district. And then also with this is a special development permit to allow deviations from our commercial development standards for a number of items: setbacks, landscaping, fencing, signage, and apparently bicycle parking for a commercial facility. And just a note on this component, there aren't any changes proposed for the existing site improvements. This is simply a outcome of the change in the zoning and the use, and having part of the property remain in a residential use. And then finally, a design review to confirm compliance with the countywide design guidelines. Next slide. So this shows sort of the area that Mr. Verga is looking to change from this agricultural residential designation and zoning to the commercial, limited commercial. Like I said, it's about 0.87 of an acre of the entire site. And Doral, can you go to the next slide? And it basically is concurrent with the existing area that is being used as an event center, wedding venue, takeout food. And the whole idea behind this set of amendments in the request is so Mr. Berger can continue to utilize this area in a commercial capacity. And so the rezone will just allow kind of business as has been going, especially over the pandemic when he hasn't been able to do as much off-site catering business. The residential area will remain as is, and as I mentioned before, commercial will remain as is, and the access to the site will remain on Elkhorn Boulevard. And I believe that's my last slide. Is there anything more, Darrell? No, key points. Okay. So yeah, just as I said, it's just a portion of the overall site. There's no changes to the existing layout. And the final hearing authority for this request is the Board of Supervisors. And I'm happy to answer any questions. And as I had mentioned, the applicant is on the line as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that presentation. Let's see, Chris, do you have any questions for the county?
Is this to do business as he's been doing it? And if he wanted to expand to open up some more hours open, would this conflict in any way? Would he have to go through this process all over again, or can he be open more than he is?
All this does is just move that portion of the site to a commercial zoning. So it doesn't necessarily restrict his hours in any way. And it does actually give him a lot more flexibility on utilizing the site. The only probably restriction in this is that because he is right adjacent to the residential, which is where he lives, we did have to include that special development permit. And so if he was trying to expand in any way that would get any closer to that residential, he would have to come back and ask for another development standard deviation. But operationally, no. Hours and the like shouldn't be affected.
Well, this is like the final step for him. Once all this is approved and it's on a Board of Supervisors, then he can operate worry-free with the county.
That's the hope. Yes, that was the whole purpose of this. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's all I got.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Hey, I know, Amy, you probably have a lot of questions because there's a learning curve here. So do you have a question, or you're just kind of still learning?
At this time, I don't have a question. I was able to get on and read some back history on the project and read through the proposal when this whole thing kicked off. So I think I have a good understanding of what the project is. Certainly, if Hank could come on and contribute anything, that would be fine as well. So,
Okay. Then let me basically have a question for the county. Is that after reading the letters from people in the community, the one thing is if Hickory Hanks ever sold the property and somebody wanted to come in and say put in a gasoline station, they would have to come to us before that, correct? To put in a gas station, right?
So a gas station, yes.
Okay.
A gas station always requires its own use permit.
Right. Okay. So I knew what the answer was, but in case there is people out there listening, especially the person that had the objection about the possibility of a gasoline station coming in, is most any other business that came in, again, depending on what type of business, would have to come to our community first. So
It does depend. This is allowing it to go to that limited commercial zoning without any particular restrictions on that. So, retail type businesses for the most part would be allowed by right, restaurants, those sorts of things. But if they had to expand or add in more parking or something like that, then they would have to come back to ask for deviations from those development standards. But things like gas stations, heavier, larger retail and those sorts of things, those would have to come back for some sort of use permit usually.
okay. And I think I read 7 letters, 6 in favor, 1 that had potentially a problem, depending on what type of business would come in if the property ever sold. But we had 6 in favor, 1 kind of in the middle of the road. So I know, Chris, you said you wanted to hear a little bit from Hank's people.
I believe that was Amy.
Yeah, I mean, if certainly if they had anything that they felt like they could add, I think it's pretty cut and dry. And I too read through the public comments that were sent ahead.
Yeah, we just so you know, Amy, we've heard this a couple times before, and they've actually made kind of different changes to it. But whoops, basically, okay. I just lost. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because I just lost it. Anyway, yeah, if we could hear from the proponent, just in case Amy, they can answer a couple more questions that Amy may have, that would be great.
Sure. I'm online. This is Hank with Hickory Hanks. I've been in Rio Linda now for almost 30 years. And prior to that, even with my parents back in the 60s. Rio Linda is kind of one of those kind of places that just kind of grows on you. And I really don't plan on going anywhere or doing anything. I really am happy with my business here. The kind of things that have happened has made it really difficult with COVID, as you all know. And I've just kind of been trying to survive through this last year and a half or so. And with this coming about, it's kind of stripped me of a lot of money that I could use for my business to try to keep where I'm at. It kind of caught me by surprise. I didn't realize that after I'd gone through the whole use permit process before, had my plans and permits all signed off by planning, everybody else, that I found out that I was illegally doing business. My kitchen was fraudulently installed. That just kind of really took me by surprise. But I'm trying to do the right thing, get it back on the right page with the county and everybody so that I can continue doing business here as Hickory Hanks in Rio Linda and being a big part of the community to help out here in the community as we do.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so Amy, do you think you have any questions for Hank or?
No, honestly, I really don't. Like I said, I read through a majority of the documents and looked at the zoning proposal maps, the plan set. So I think I have a pretty clear picture of what is being proposed for this project.
Okay, great. with that said, I think that this is probably one of the best facilities, if not the best facility in Rio Linda, for our community and the outside community, and even for bringing people to Rio Linda to find out what it's about by staying and eating at Hank's there. So with that said, I'd like to make a motion to approve the request for Hickory Hank's Barbecue rezone for the general plan amendment, the community plan amendment, and the special development permit. So I'm making a motion to approve that. Call for all those in favor, say aye. Well,
Aye.
I guess we got to do a roll call. Sorry. Chris?
That, and we also need a second. Sorry, we need
Yes,
a second.
I was going to say I second the motion.
Okay, that was
Second for
second.
Yes.
Okay. So we have a first and a second, and I'd like to call for a vote. Roll call. Chris?
Absolutely, 100%.
Amy?
In total agreement, 100%.
And Hal? Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
Motion carries 3-0 with an
Congratulations.
absolutely on it.
One more step to go.
Yes.
perfect. Yes, that motion does carry with members Hinkie and Reisig being absent. So I'm just going to note that for the record. And also for the record, there were no verbal public comments at this time. Okay, so then are we going on to staff updates?
Yeah, let's go ahead with miscellaneous stuff like staff update, which I don't know why that would be miscellaneous, but okay.
Well, I want to thank you guys for your vote. I appreciate it. Hope to see you in here sometime soon. Thanks again.
Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for everything that you've done for the community over the years.
No problem. I enjoy doing it.
All right, this is Jessica, and I do not have any staff update to share.
Oh, but you had to say that, right? Oh.
I had to say it. Got to check the box. Thank you.
Okay. Then let's go to number
comments?
3. Let's go to number 3, council member comments. Chris, you have any updates on theater or anything?
I wasn't prepared to give a rundown on everything that I have to update, but no. I appreciate it, but no, I'm good.
Amy, do you have anything that wasn't on the agenda that you might want to make a comment about?
No, just happy to be here. And for my first meeting, this was pretty easy. So thank you for having me.
Short and sweet, right? And
job, and thank you for being prepared.
my only comment is to be almost 70 and still alive.
There you go.
And okay, so public comments, I heard there was none, right?
That is correct. We still do not have any public comments at this time.
Well, you know what? This could be a record for our fastest meeting ever because it's being adjourned at 7:20. Wow.
Wow.
19 minutes.
Faster than any teacher staff meeting I ever went to in my life.
Yeah, I've been to staff meetings before, but it's been a long time.
It'll be a long time before you do something.
Well, thank you, and we'll see everybody at the next meeting. Hopefully we'll have another one or start having regular meetings every month.
Okay.
Perfect.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Well, you guys have
Good
a
night.
great evening.
Yes,
Good
thank
night.
you.
Thank
Take
you.
care, guys.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.